With all due respect to the man Abe Lincoln, all due respect, I'm going to end the argument once and for all why no other president has done more for Americans with black skin than Donald J. Trump.
Let me talk to you.
1. Record low unemployment rate for Americans with black skin, which was recorded at 5.4%, according to data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. 2. Opportunity zones through the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which was signed by Trump in 2018. 3. Funding for HBCUs through the Futures Act, which was signed by Trump in December 2019. That permanently funds HBCUs to the tune of $255 million annually. 4. Criminal justice reform through the First Step Act, which was signed by Trump in December 2018. That single piece of legislation has freed 20,000 Americans with black skin to this day. And that's just some of the things he did while serving as president. Let's not forget the things he did well before he took office. 5. In 1966, while a student at Wharton, a 20-year-old Donald Trump helped start the MLK Jr. International Freedom Games. 6. In 1997, Trump donated office space to Jesse Jackson's civil rights group, the Rainbow Push Coalition, in order to give black folk a presence on Wall Street. 7. In 1999, that same Jesse Jackson praised Trump for his lifetime commitment to helping the black community. And who can forget, after Jennifer Hudson's mother and brother were murdered back in 2008, Trump allowed Jay Hood and some members of her family to stay at the Trump International Hotel and Tower for free as a means to ensure their safety. And that's just a snippet of some of the things he's done. So stop getting into your feelings on me and find me evidence of another president, not named Abe Lincoln, who's done more for Americans with black skin. I'll wait.
Brilliant, charismatic, totally self-made billionaire who I believe will one day run this country.
Oh, Donald Trump.
You and the Donald are very close. I won Celebrity Apprentice.
Yes, you did.
I was the first black person to win, so I'm like the Jackie Robinson.
Donald always says money can't buy happiness.
He's always been a favorite of celebrities. Every single prominent person in the world, young and old, has hobnobbed with Donald Trump at some point in their life. Take a look. That includes presidents, actors, comedians.
Budget crunch for President Trump.
Donald Trump took care of Jennifer Hudson's whole family after they experienced a tragedy. Now, for anyone who's ever called Donald Trump racist, he spent time with Rosa Parks winning the Ellis Island Award. How many racists have ever done that?
We know that, right? Nah, he's a terrific guy. We love him, and I'm here for him.
People of note, talk show host.
She wasn't the only person who took a special interest in you. There was somebody else who saw it, and he's a very famous person, and he wanted to give you a present too. So watch this in the monitor. I don't know if you know who he is.
Hi, Megan. My name's Donald, and you probably don't know me, but I was watching Maury's show the other day, and I must tell you, you really hit me right here. I think you are so beautiful, and both inside and out. I had a little something, a little gift that I gave to Maury, who's a friend of mine, and a very good golfer. Don't ever play him in golf. He's very, very good, believe me. And I gave him a little gift for you, and I hope you and your mother have a good time with it. And you're very special, and you just keep it up and keep up that attitude. So good luck, and you stay in touch.
So, Donald Trump, he has his name on more buildings in New York City than any other person. And besides that, he is one of the most generous people I know. And he wants you and your mom to have a very special check. And when we talk about Donald Trump, when he gives out checks, we're not talking chump change here. This is big time money. So look at that. Do you know how much that's for? Did you get all those zeros right?
Singers love Donald Trump.
Even Homer Simpson rode the escalator behind Trump.
But nobody loved Donald Trump more than rappers.
A lot of people are calling me about the Mac Miller rap song.
Yo, Ice, I did a concert in the White House, and after that, me and Donald Trump hung out. Beat was going off like Donald Trump gets checks.
I'm talking Donald Trump.
Bill Gates, Donald Trump, let me in.
Donald Trump is y'all.
Resurrection of the real time to get richer than Trump.
But I take over the world when I'm on my Donald Trump. I'ma fire my blunt like Donald Trump.
I'm holding a go-kart.
The Donald Trump song just hit over 20 million. That's not so bad. I'm very proud of that.
Almost every prominent rapper has applauded Donald Trump at some point in their songs. If you're the kind of person to be influenced by celebrities, why not pick the biggest and baddest of them all? World champion level fighters from boxing and the UFC.
Nobody called Trump a racist until he ran for president. Prove me wrong.
I don't like the way this stuff is going, right? But I like Donald Trump. You know, Donald Trump stood up for me when they talked bad about me, and people said, "What do you think about this convicted rapist?" Said he was for you. He responded. He said, "I'm a tie." He accepted my vouching for it. He accepted that and said, "Mike is my friend," and I respected that.
Donald Trump, everybody. Thanks for coming. We'll be right back with music from Gary Clark Jr.
And of course, Jimmy Fallon had to apologize 1,000 times for getting along with Donald Trump right before election. Check it out.
The next time I see you could be the president of the United States. I just wanted to know if there's something we could do that's just not presidential, really, or something that we can do now that we're just both civilians. Like
what? This is... I'm not liking the sound of this. Go ahead.
Can I mess your hair up?
One thing about Michael Jackson, he lived in Trump Tower. And I see your show all the time, Michael Jackson. Every night you have Michael Jackson, blah, blah, blah. 15 years ago, I went to Madison Square Garden, and I watched Michael Jackson perform and do the moonwalk across the stage. And I said, I don't think I've ever seen anything. There was no entertainer like him. He lives in various of my buildings. I mean, he sort of follows me around in the sense of he likes what I have.
Well, I know him very well. He's lived in my buildings.
Perfect gentleman. We never had one problem. He's a friend of mine. I mean, he's a good guy. He's a little different.
Badly.
Well, he's gone through a lot.
I'm going to stick up for him because nobody else is, but I don't believe it.
The mainstream media cuts President Trump very little slack and goes out of their way to cover up his many accomplishments since he's been in office. But it goes back much further than that. For decades, Donald Trump has been quietly helping Americans from all backgrounds without any praise or credit from the media. As it turns out, the businessman turned president has a long history of random acts of kindness. For example, the president is a champion of women's rights, and going all the way back to 1980, Trump hired Barbara Rez to be the head of construction for his organization. She was just one of many women Trump promoted into prominent positions in construction at a time when the industry was dominated by men, with Trump even saying that a good woman is better than 10 good men. As a result, Barbara says she may have been the first woman in U.S. history to build a skyscraper. A few years later, in 1988, a Jewish family were desperate to find help for their critically ill son, who was just 3 years old and needed a flight from Los Angeles to New York for emergency treatment. But all the commercial airlines refused to fly their son because he needed to travel with several large pieces of medical equipment. Running out of hope, the family reached out to Donald Trump, who they said didn't even hesitate and agreed to have his private jet fly the family and their sick son to New York for treatment. The boy's father said, quote, "Donald Trump is a miracle, just a miracle." In 1991, witnesses say that while Trump was riding in his limo, he spotted a man being brutally attacked by a mugger with a baseball bat. Trump ordered the limo to pull over and jumped out of the car, shouting at the man to drop the bat, who, according to witnesses, then fled the scene. In 2008, singer and actress Jennifer Hudson's mother, brother, and nephew were all murdered at their home in Chicago. In another unexpected gesture of kindness, Trump reached out to the grief-stricken Hudson and offered to house her and her relatives at Trump Tower in Chicago for free. At the time, People magazine praised Trump for his, quote, heart of gold, with Trump saying he just wanted to help protect her and her family. A few years later, in 2013, bus driver Darnell Barton stopped to help a woman who he thought looked like she was about ready to jump off a bridge. Donald Trump heard about the story and sent Barton a $10,000 check for his good deed, saying, quote, "Your quick thinking resulted in a life being saved, and for that, you should be rewarded." The next year, in 2014, U.S. Marine Corps Sergeant Andrew Timorisi was arrested in Mexico and held for 7 months after he accidentally brought firearms across the border. Trump followed the case, and when Andrew was finally released and returned to the United States, Trump reached out and sent him a check for $25,000, thanking him for his service and bravery. But that's not the first or last time Donald Trump stood up to help America's veterans. In 2015, then presidential hopeful Trump stepped in to help Army veteran Todd Landon, who was critically wounded in an IED attack in Iraq back in 2006. Trump was holding a rally in Iowa and came down off the stage to speak with Landon, who told him about all the problems he was having getting proper care with the VA, which he said was rife with problems. Trump vowed to help Landon out, intervened with the VA on his behalf, and the very next day, Landon said the VA contacted him and shortly after approved compensation payments for his injuries. Trump took it a step further after he was elected president, and reversing nearly a decade of neglect from Obama, Trump forgave the student debts of nearly 50,000 permanently disabled veterans. In 2017, President Trump heard that the family of Army Corporal Dylan Baldridge was struggling after their son was killed in Afghanistan. Vowing his support for the family, President Trump personally sent them a check for $25,000 and instructed his staff to create an online fundraising page to help the family out. These are the stories the mainstream media doesn't want you to know about. And they're just a few of the many examples over the years of when President Trump took a stand and helped people who, in many cases, had nowhere else to turn. No one expected Trump to help. It's not mentioned in any of his campaign promotions, and he never makes any big speeches about it. He just did the right thing because no one else would, and it needed to be done.
I am a squatter in Donald Trump's building, Trump Tower, in New York City. As you can see, I'm in my pajamas. There's Central Park right there. And that tall building is the Essex House on Central Park West, near 59th Street. I came in here about 9 years ago and snuck in the building and just started occupying one of the empty rooms in here. By the time our housekeeper noticed I was here the next day, she called the manager and they called the New York City police. Who came up here and told me I had to leave or I would be arrested. When I told them I would not go, they contacted Mr. Trump over the phone, and he came down here. Instead of him evicting me off the property, he said that I can stay. And it's been 8 years I've been here. Not only did he not evict me off the property, he makes sure that I get 3 meals a day by room service, and that I get a delivery of fresh flowers every week. So you people, not a bad guy at all. If it weren't for him, I'd be homeless, I'd be dead right now. I'd be in the street. I asked him, how am I going to pay him back for all of this? And he told me I can pay him back whenever I get it, which is never. I have no idea why he did this with me. It's been 9 years. And I've been here for totally free, and I haven't paid a dime. Donald Trump is not a bad guy. He's a wonderful, wonderful man. And everything I'm telling you today is true. Goodbye.
What an amazing story that is, isn't it?
An indictment in Manhattan that accuses him of diverting hundreds of thousands of dollars to his personal use after using fraud, grand larceny, and false business records to solicit funds from such diverse contributors as Don King, the boxing promoter, and Don Trump, the billionaire. Sharpton will be arraigned on state income tax charges later in Albany.
Well, I now want to bring forth a friend who has, well, he is deceptive in that his social style is of such. One can miss his seriousness and his commitment, for his success is beyond argument. When we opened this Wall Street project and we talked about it, he gave us space at 40 Wall Street, which was to make a statement about our having a presence there. And beyond that, in terms of reaching out and being inclusive, he's done that too. And created for many people a comfort zone when I ran for the presidency in 84 and 88. And many others thought it was either laughable or something to avoid. He came to our business meeting here in New York because he has this sense of the curious and a will to risk to make things better. And so aside from all of his style and his pizzazz, he's a serious person who's an effective builder of building for the builder of people. Last year, he was a part of our workshop, of our panel workshop on what are the challenges and opportunities. And so this, a year later, Donald Trump, for a few minutes, challenges and opportunities to embrace the underserved communities. Donald Trump.
I will tell you, a large percentage of the people, and especially in construction, that are building these great jobs are black and minorities, and I'm very proud of it. We have close to 25%, and I think the number's going up, and they do a great job. There are no better builders than we have in New York, and a big percentage of that is black and minority folks. So,
what is your take on Trump? Is Trump a racist?
I don't think so. I've talked to a number of black entrepreneurs who back in the late 80s and 90s, early 90s, were trying to get financing. They couldn't. Somebody told them to go check with Donald Trump. So they come back and tell me they got a loan from Donald Trump. He gave them a term loan. Show up with the interest and the principal, one check. But they had to go see him personally. They independently relate this tale that when they saw him, he said, "This what you supposed to pay me? This our agreement?" And yeah. And then tore the check up, shook their hands, and congratulations. Now run your business.
Now, this ain't no clickbait when I tell you. This Trump endorsement is probably the most shocking endorsement to date. Check it out.
My name is David Hilliard, founding member of the Black Panther Party. I knew Trump when Trump was a college student in New York, and he supported the Black Panther Party. That's how I know Trump.
What kind of person do you think Donald Trump is?
Trump is a person who's a decent man, and he supported the Black Panther Party. That's what I just mentioned to you. He was someone who gave us money, and Trump was a decent guy. Trump's a friend of African Americans, and I knew Trump from the 1960s in New York, where he comes from, and he's a friend to African Americans.
Oh, and now when you say a friend to African American, what do you mean by friend?
I mean he's not a racist. He's not a racist, fascist white man. He supported black people. Owned every brownstone in a place called Harlem, New York.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now, do you remember the time that Trump supported Jesse Jackson?
No, but I remember when he supported the Black Panther Party.
That's incredible.
Right.
And how did he support the Black Panther Party?
With his money.
Whoa, for real? My goodness.
He gave us money.
So, in your opinion, Trump has always been, now that he has these 34 counts of being a felon, Trump
BS
has
counts.
always been part of the black community, or familiarized at least with the black community.
That's exactly right. Trump was a friend to people of African American descent, and he owned all of Harlem.
Wow, that's amazing. So, in your opinion, sir, your valued opinion, why do you think they put all these charges on Trump, and they're afraid of him to be president?
Oh, we know.
Trump likes Africans in America. He likes black folks. That's one. I think that Trump is qualified and a very decent approach to having somebody representing America. Trump,
yeah, I agree with you, and I think Trump would be able to get us off this government thing and get us to making our own money, because he knows how to make money. He knows how to lose money, and so he would be the perfect person to help us get our own again, right?
And Trump's a friend of African Americans. He's always been a friend of black people. That's how I know Trump.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And what is your name, sir?
My name is David Hilliard, founding member of the Black Panther Party.
Oh, my God. Well, that's amazing. You're a well-known figure in the Bay Area. So we thank you for taking a moment out of your valued time to give us an interview for the Random Site. Thank you, sir.
All power to the people.
Okay.
Bring in Barbara Heineback now, who joins us via Skype. Again, good to see you, Barbara. Of course, as a former Clinton advisor, a Clinton White House advisor, you're very closely connected to the Democratic Party. It is history to see Kamala Harris, a woman of colour, on the presidential ticket. But do you get worried about the overemphasis by the politicians and the media on these race and identity issues?
I absolutely do. First, I just want to say congratulations to Kamala Harris. It's nice to see a woman on the ticket, someone that has an Asian American and African American background as a potential candidate for the vice president of the United States. So that's a positive. It's good to see. But what has been so disappointing is all of this race baiting now for 3 days in a row. Well, actually, it's been just about for 4 years in a row. But guess what? Donald Trump did not start all of this race baiting. If we look back a little bit, Donald Trump contributed twice to Kamala's campaign, $5,000 one time, $1,000 another, when she was running for different races and all. And he was fine, and no one called him a racist for 30 or 40 years when he was in New York. Why? He was a Democrat. And it's only been fairly recently that he became a Republican. So if he was such, if he had issues against Israel and anti-Semitic and all, it's kind of funny that I just sort of sat and laughed the first year of Donald Trump's administration, and I thought to myself, I know that Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, and Chuck Schumer were sitting back and saying, darn it, why didn't we do that? He took Israel and he put the embassy in Jerusalem, as many 3, 4, 5 presidents before him had promised. But as soon as they got to the White House, they forgot about it. Donald Trump fulfilled more of his promises in the first year and a half of his administration than anyone else had done before him. And the race baiting is an insult to people like me, a Black American. Many of us have achieved things, and many of our forefathers have achieved a lot. So why is it that even though they try to pretend that they're so concerned about COVID-19, yet and still they won't say anything about Black Lives Matter, not just with the distancing, but far more important, how violent they are. And I watched Kamala a few days ago when Joe first announced her, Joe Biden, and she came out and she was speaking on behalf of Black Lives Matter. 84 nights now in Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, Washington. It is very disturbing, and not all of us are victims. And unfortunately, the people that will suffer the most after these thugs and thieves and killers go home are going to be your poorest in the society.
Hey, everybody used to like Trump. Like the show. You ever seen like videos of Trump on The View with Barbara Walters back when they liked him? You ever seen that?
Yes, but I can't remember what you're referring to.
You should see it because it's bonkers. This is it. Watch this. This is bonkers. Go full screen. This is literally bonkers.
Mogul and a television star. But does he really want to add president of the United States to his resume? A lot of people would like him to. Please, let's find out, and please welcome my friend, Donald Trump.
My friend.
My friend. Watch this. Just watch this. This is nuts. We're in an alternative universe. Okay? Because this is not that long ago.
Go standing O.
Bro, watch this. Just watch how this goes. Watch this. So she's a Republican. That's easy.
Yeah.
But everybody else.
Look at Joy. Can't wait to get a hug in.
Yeah, everyone's hugging. Look at this. Look at this. Kisses, hugs, kisses to Whoopi. Everybody hugs and kisses, even Joy Behar.
Check out that reception. The audience is going crazy. Everyone's lining up. Hugs and kisses for all. Even Joy Behar, the person who probably hates him most in the entire world, is out there. Oh, can I edge in there and get that hug? Please, Trump, let me touch thy skin. So this is exactly what has happened. When someone comes out and declares himself as a Republican, oh, all of a sudden, it's hands off. Oh, all of a sudden, they become the worst person in the world. They did the same thing to Mitt Romney, the same thing to John McCain, the same thing to George W. Bush, the same thing to George Bush, right? Anybody who runs on the Republican ticket is immediately enemy number one, okay? And now, of course, it's enemy of the state, as we can see with the political persecution. But, of course, it gets better.
Hugs and kisses.
Joy Behar, hugs and kisses.
See? Now, watch this.
So I'm going to take you at your word that you have not decided yet when you're going to run, but you're thinking about it, and you've expressed some of your views, which are controversial and in many ways, but
not to her.
Well, not to her. Okay, you're a Republican, so, but let's say that you do decide in the spring, right? And your ideas resonate somewhat.
The country is doing so badly, they want somebody that's going to help it. I think the country is never been in a position like it is right now. It's being ripped off by every nation, every intelligent nation in the world, whether it's China. They're taking our jobs, they're making all our product, and then they loan us back the money, we pay them interest.
That is
Whether
crazy.
it's OPEC.
That's crazy.
OPEC, which is
look at this. Watch this.
field day right now. How about the Arab League? They say, we want you to go in and attack Libya. These are the wealthiest countries in the world. Why aren't they paying us?
Okay, so then
I think people want somebody now that's going to protect them and protect this country, because we're not going to be a great country for long if we keep going the way we're going right now.
So notice how Trump actually handles the question, right? He's like, I thought it was very comfortable. And then he moves on. He handles the crowd great. And notice the body language. He's over there touching Barbara Walters' knee. Right? This is a very comfortable person, and they're all happy to hear his opinion. And
the audience cheers.
Yeah.
When we have France leading the charge, okay? France, this is our new leader. By the way, they led for about 2 hours. After that, nobody's seen them. I don't know if you know that.
Geographically, so they should. Let me just ask a follow-up question to that.
Lead is the point.
Let me just ask a follow-up question to that. Let's say you run. You've given a lot of thought for this. Who would you like as your vice president? Possibly Sarah Palin?
Well, I think it's far too early even to discuss that. I'm going to make a decision sometime prior to June. I'm thinking about it very strongly. I think I'd do a really good job. I think I'd protect this country like it's not being protected. Now, it's funny. So many of the things I say, now politicians are saying, hey, that's right. Why aren't they paying us? If you look at North Korea, South Korea, we're protecting South Korea. They're making a fortune. Let's call it hundreds of billions of dollars of profit on us. We have 25,000 soldiers over there protecting them. They don't pay us. Why aren't they paying us?
You'd be treating this like a business.
No. A business with heart.
Okay.
Believe me, there's a lot of heart. It's a business, but it's also a business with heart. We will destroy this country. It won't be a war. If the economics of this country keep going the way they're going, we're not going to have a country.
You're kind of a social liberal, Donald. You know, you're a social liberal. Could you actually get the base to vote for you in the primary?
Well, every poll is saying that I'm the one that does the best. They're doing polls.
They actually have you a higher approval rating than Mitt Romney, Tim Pawlenty, John Boehner. But out of those,
Let's just pause and think.
He's very poised. He's listening. He's
grasp the 180.
Yeah.
That the media has taken on him since he decided to be president. Yeah. When you see the machine go after a guy, we've never seen the machine go after someone as bold-faced. The prosecutions, the Russiagate stuff on television every night, all of it. And then to see just a few years ago, they loved him.
Yeah.
So yes, notice Donald Trump is still making the same arguments today because they were only fixed for that short time he was in office, okay? And back in the Obama years, it was nowhere near as bad as it is under the Biden-Harris years, all right? This is terrible. So yes, it all still works because only Donald Trump was going to fix that stuff. And yes, something else is pointed out there. Donald Trump was, in fact, a Democrat. He voted Democrat. But because he loves this country and he understands the business end of things, he was able to say, hey, we're getting screwed in all these deals. We're losing money left and right. Other countries are taking advantage of us, and we can't keep this up. And then Joe Rogan, of course, is chiming in. The complete 180. Everyone just loved this guy. And then seeing the machine just turn its cogs and spin out and try to destroy him once he goes against the narrative. Because that's what the left always does. If you go against the narrative, against the mainstream story they're trying to spin, then they will have to, of course, ruin your life, which they're trying to do right now to Donald Trump and could possibly throw him in jail for. But of course, it wasn't just The View. It was also The Morning Joe. Check this out.
I learned that Donald Trump, again,
he's a nice guy.
He's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
And he gave a wonderful donation to the Global Medical Relief Fund. My daughter's having a fundraiser. She worked there. Thank you.
Did he give you $100,000 like he gave Axelrod?
No. It was not that. Yeah. But it was really, really nice of him. Thank you.
Yeah.
She's the beautiful biracial model who dated President Trump for 2 years. Cara Young's mother is black, her father is white. I didn't hide my race from Donald Trump. He knew, Cara told today's New York Times. He would say, "You're like Derek Jeter." And I would say, "Exactly." I never heard him say a disparaging comment towards any race of people. Last year, Cara, now a mom, told the TV show Chasing News that Trump was not a racist.
I would never go out with anybody that was a racist. Of course not. That's crazy.
Cara and Trump met at a party in 1997. She was a top model, appearing in the Victoria's Secret catalog and many magazines, including the German edition of Playboy. In this ad campaign for Revlon, she posed with supermodels Claudia Schiffer and Cindy Crawford. Trump once sang Cara's praises to Howard Stern.
She's a wonderful girl. She's really a fantastic girl.
I was compelled to sit down and write this letter, not to anyone in particular, maybe even just for myself, but as a black female executive at the Trump Organization, I can no longer remain silent about the repeated and reprehensible attempts to align my boss and his family with racist hate-mongering groups, campaigns, and messaging. As the daughter of a man born in Birmingham, Alabama, who rose against all odds to become one of the most established and respected doctors at Yale University, there is no amount of money in the world that could buy my loyalty to a family that subscribed to such intolerant and bigoted ideologies. The Trump family that I know is, without question, one of the most generous, compassionate, and philanthropic families I've ever had the privilege of knowing and the honor to call friends. They have been incredibly loyal to me and to the countless dedicated people they employ around the world, hiring more minority and female executives than any other company for which I've ever worked. To equate racism with my boss's call for a temporary moratorium on a flawed immigration system that radical Islamic terrorists continue to exploit or the construction of an impassable wall to protect our borders from the influx of illegal drugs is not only incendiary, it's wholly irresponsible and only serves to embolden the very hatred these draconian groups espouse. What common sense American wants another terrorist attack on our soil, or to perpetuate this country's rampant drug epidemic? But to compare my boss to Adolf Hitler, simply to spin your own political agenda or social media punchline, is a personal affront to the extermination of over 6 million Jews and trivializes one of the worst acts of human genocide this world has ever seen. Rest assured, I am a highly intelligent, free-thinking, and independent woman. My opinions and decisions are based solely in fact, not fiction, speculation, assumption, or hearsay. I do not vote based upon the color of my skin, nor the signature on my paycheck. I judge my friends and forge my allegiances from direct personal interaction and moral character. That said, there is no higher barometer by which to measure oneself than the one continually set by this family and their spouses, and I should know. Like many Americans, I have struggled with substance abuse and addiction. The Trump family has stood by me through immensely difficult times without hesitation or concern for their own reputation by association. They continue to trust me with every aspect of their lives and the lives of their families. They invite me into their homes and welcome me at their family gatherings. For the past 6 years, I have held an executive position as it pertains to the distribution of their charitable funds, and they have charged me to identify worthy and altruistic missions. I could not be more humbled. This is the Trump family that I know. Only up until now, it's all just been opposing campaign rhetoric and paid protesters. But then a letter came. And I thought to myself, who does this person think he is to threaten to kill somebody else's family? Any family. This family. My family. All because of a political race, a campaign. But then I realized that this isn't just a race to Mr. Trump. This isn't just a race to his family, nor to our veterans or the unemployed. And because of that, this family is willing to risk their own lives each and every day for the greater good of this country. But I would be lying if I said I didn't fear for them now. There is a movement sweeping this brave nation, and I am honored to have a front row seat to it on a daily basis. This country has spoken. My boss has justly earned the Republican nomination and broken voter registration records in countless states across America. This cannot be denied. He has brought this party together by drawing more Democrats, more independents, and more first-time voters into the GOP fold, and has earned more Republican votes than any other presidential candidate in modern history. That must be respected. To the skeptics who will undoubtedly claim that I'm doing this at the behest of the Trump family or with the promise of reward, I deliberately chose not to seek their approval nor counsel in advance of this video for fear that they would be more concerned for me and its potential viral ramifications than they would be for themselves, and the fact that, quite simply, this is the right thing to do. For me, it was an easy decision, just as voting for my boss, Donald J. Trump, should be an easy decision for you. God bless this family, God bless the voters, and God bless the United States of America.